Hey guys, we finally made it back to Motoo, Redwood City, and I'm here with Joe. How's it going?
It's going great. It's a little bit hot.
It is a little bit hot. How long have you been open, man? You've been here forever.
Been here since 2002 in beautiful Redwood City, and now we have another store up in San Francisco.
It's awesome. And you're one of the only shops in the United States that carries Cube, and I love this company. These are really cool bikes. To me, it's sort of it's like value price point, but with high-end components and drive systems, like specifically Bosch in this case.
Yep.
Do they do anything else besides Bosch? Have you seen any?
No. Well, they do regular non-e-bikes. They have a large catalog of that, but no, it's pretty much exclusively Bosch and all versions of their motor.
Awesome. So what we're looking at today is the Touring Hybrid. This is the 400 watt-hour version with the Bosch Active Line motor. A little bit smoother, a little less power, and then we have the Touring Hybrid Pro over here with the Performance Line CX and the 500 watt-hour battery pack. It's interesting to see this. I haven't seen the 500 in the rack style battery. 6.1 pounds versus 5.7 when it's a down tube mounted design. And of course, you know, there's a little bit of crack the whip. There's the weight's a little bit higher. This trapeze, am I saying that right? Is it trapeze, trapeze?
Yeah, that's however you want to say it.
This is such a cool design. It's kind of that, yeah, maybe a little bit more masculine step through. It's going to be stiffer versus they also have the low step or wave in Euro. What do you think about this frame design?
I like it because you know, it doesn't give itself away so much as a female-specific bike, but it's something that a gal can get on and easy if they like a step-through style frame. It doesn't have to be so step-through, but anybody with kind of a leg or hip issue that they want to just be able to step over, not swing their leg over, and then it has a nice clean look to it. It
really does. These bikes come in a couple different colors and like 5 sizes. There's a huge size range. I'm actually looking at the 50 here. I think it goes 54, 58, 61. There might even be a 46. So quite a range. Not all of the frame styles come in the full range of sizes. But you know, if you're a taller person, maybe you end up on the high step version anyway. But this is sort of the gray and red. They also have a gray and blue. We were talking a minute ago about like maybe pants or dress, hip issues. And I love that they have this plastic chain cover. See, it doesn't go the whole way, but it really doesn't have to. And they didn't skimp. There's a little plastic sticker here, so if the chain's bouncing around, you're not gonna chip up that right chain stay. Really nicely reinforced here, blends quite well with this plastic cover. This is a 15-tooth chain ring up here. You multiply by 2.5 because that's how quickly the Bosch motor spins that sprocket. So there is a little bit of a kind of a gearbox thing going on. It's very quick, produces a bit more of a high-pitched whir than some of the other motors, but this is one of the most durable, like longest lasting, definitely most powerful, 75 Newton meters peak torque on this. The chain cover is complemented by plastic fenders. Got a little rubber mud flap on the back. These are SKS. Integrated lights, love that. We've got Lumotech lit. It's aimable up here on the front. It's gonna keep you visible as well as let you see the road. Then we've got a Bush & Miller top light flat, nice and low, so if you have a trunk bag or panniers, it's not gonna block those. And just the rack seems really solid to me. This is rack time. It says max load 25 kilograms. That's about 55 pounds, so quite capable, and they kept it clear of that saddle, so you can still get the saddle, especially if you slide it forward on those rails. You can get really low positioning, but there's an integrated suspension element on that too, so there's comfort there, comfort at the suspension fork. This is coil, maybe not quite as light or adjustable as air, and they don't have compression or lockout, but you have the efficiency of the motor, and it's not like you're going to be standing up on this thing and losing a lot of energy to bob. That's just not going to happen. We've got the heavy, looks like the spring-loaded kickstand, and these ones are nice because they don't flick back down, right? This is not a speed pedelec, 20 mile per hour top speed on this. Hydraulic disc brakes, Shimano, 180, adjustable reach levers up here. Really nice, especially if you're someone who, maybe you're petite and you've got the smaller frame. You bring those levers in a little bit, or you're riding with gloves, locking ergonomic grips. This is the Bosch Intuvia display panel, removable, so I really appreciate that about this display. You can take this off, you can take the battery off. I'm gonna just do that. Twist the key a little bit, pull out from the back. There we go. So you can take both of these in with you and charge. Maybe you're working during the day, and it uses the same charging port on the battery as it does on the side of, there it is, over here. See that rubber flap? So you don't need much beyond that. And Bosch has a 4 amp charger, so it's pretty quick. It only weighs 1.7 pounds. Very portable. There's even a micro USB port on the side of the Intuvia, so if you want to charge a phone or an additional light or a music player or something, you totally can. Kind of a generic flick bell, but it's nice to have that. Really reachable for that display panel. I'm going to go through that again in just a minute. Wanted to talk about the Shimano Altus drivetrain, 9-speed, 12 to 36. Pretty good range here. Altus is one step up from Tourney, the base level, but it looks nice. I think it gets the job done. You can do multi-shifting, I think 3 clicks at once when you're going down to easier gears. What do you think about the drivetrain on this? And, you know, we've covered a lot of ground here. Joe, you have any feedback?
No, you've dissected this bike pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
Did you talk about the water bottle mount there?
Thank you. Okay, how could I forget? Oh my gosh.
Feature, I think.
Right, this one, clearly, right, plenty of room for a bottle cage. And actually 2, I didn't realize that. We were looking at, I got so excited about the trapeze or whatever. Bottle cage Boss is right there. There's just enough room. You might want to get one of those side mounting cages. Yeah, that's key, because you do get, it's hot right now. We're both sweating. We're outside. Redwood City warms up.
And the e-bike manufacturers tend to not find space for water bottles because they've got a battery typically.
Sure, sure.
That's a nice addition.
This bike is fairly stealth, in my opinion, too. Just especially with the gray, it blends nicely with the battery. And if you did have a bag or panniers, it looks classy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a little bit more rear heavy than some of the other Bosch bikes, but the kickstand, we've had no problem. This thing isn't like tipping over. It feels comfortable, and riding it felt pretty smooth too because of those different suspension points.
Yep.
Did we say the weight? I think it was like 54.5 pounds.
Yep.
So, you know, it's not the lightest bike, but part of that's because it has fenders, a more basic suspension, lights, a rack. Yep. Even the suspension, that adds some weight.
5-10 pounds just right there. The fork will add, you know, quite a bit of weight.
Yeah,
itself, so.
But it's worth it. In my opinion, you know, coming back to these tires, so these are Schwalbe, looks like Range Cruiser. They have the Active Line K-Guard, so that's going to prevent maybe quite as many punctures. It says 55 to 85 PSI. So if you want efficiency, you go up in the pressure, 85 PSI, or maybe if you weigh a little bit more, but then it's just not as comfortable. I mean, these aren't super fat, 700 by 38C, pretty good tread on them. Love the reflective sidewalls so that you can be seen from the side as well as the rear and the front. But you're just not, you know, the comfort aspect. You really want a suspension, especially if you're riding further. And with the PowerPack 500 version, you can go quite far. I think Bosch estimates like 25 to 115. Yep. So if you're in eco mode on this thing, even if you're not using, you're just on flats and you're pedaling like normal, these bikes are really efficient.
You for 30-40 miles in, you know, sport and tour mode easily. If you lay off the power and put it in eco, or even as a lot of people do, just turn the motor off entirely and ride it, your range can go up, you know, huge.
So I think they, on the Cube website, it was in German, so I was like exploring it and, you know, trying to get some feedback on the different specs, the stem and all that. Yeah. And they categorize it under trekking, which is like long distance riding. Mm-hmm. So, you know, commuting definitely with this. And if you wanted to go further, maybe you get an extra battery pack. You could put in like a trunk bag or something like that. Or you just take the charger, the 4-amp charger. It charges it pretty quickly.
Definitely.
Yeah, 2.5 hours and you could be more than half full again if you were towards the end.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be riding around Lake Tahoe on a bike like this, and that's what we'll do. We'll bring a charger with us, charge the bike, you know, halfway around the lake, and then continue on. It's a 75-mile trip, so.
Got to have lunch, right? Just pull over.
Definitely.
Plug in, bring a power strip.
Yep.
This is awesome. So I feel like we've done a lot of talking here. I might just hop on this thing and ride around, but I want to give you one more chance. Are there any other, you know, why do you carry these? Why do you like Cube?
Oh, I love Cube. Just as, you know, we like to have a real wide collection of products and e-bikes that we sell and offer. Cube comes around as an alternative to some of the other brands like Highbike and Felt. I think they have a really good craftsmanship in their design. Mm-hmm. The paint schemes are exciting.
It's classy,
and can be subdued for the right rider who doesn't want to be, you know, especially on these hybrid trekking and touring bikes where it's urban, it's a little bit more subdued.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because back at the shop, you have one that's like bright blue and it's really pretty, but these ones, they just kind of, you know, they blend in, and like I was saying, it's pretty stealthy. I don't think we mentioned the price. So I really love, to me, again, I don't want to pigeonhole Cube as being the affordable ones, but they just seem like good value. This is $27.99 for the 400 watt hour battery. And again, the Bosch Active Line, I think that's like 48 Newton meters of peak torque versus 75 on the CX. This is going to spend that power quicker. but it's going to climb a little bit better and feel a little zippier, and you've got the 500 watt-hour battery to help accommodate that higher, zippier feel.
Yeah, you'll get more range out of the active, so you'll be able to go further on a charge, whether it's a 400 or 500, and you'll have more quicker, stop and go power on the CX motor.
And I think these batteries are interchangeable, just like the down tube ones.
Definitely.
So you can swap the 400 for, you could buy a 500 someday. It might not have that fancy sticker to blend in perfectly, but it's still going to look good. And this one, so we said this was $27.99. This one, the 500, the Pro, it's $31.99. So you are spending a little bit more. But I see bikes from other companies that are very similarly spec'd to this, and they tend to be more expensive in the 4,000 plus range. So I think that's about it. Let's go for a ride.
Yeah, totally.
Try not to let me get hit by a car. We had a moment earlier. I always keep this helmet handy, so I'm gonna boot it up real quick. We press the power button. The display is pretty great. It's large, and I think people who have trouble seeing, you can still read this easily. 5 bars on that battery. We've got speed, miles per hour, and then down here, the bunch of trip stats. You can press I here or here to cycle through. So we've got trip distance, clock, max speed, average speed, trip time, range. Range is super cool because as you change levels of assist, it dynamically says, oh, 91 miles in Eco, or okay, 47 miles in, what are we in, Tour? There we go. Take it down the stairs. So I like having range in addition to battery capacity. Wow, we're bouncing all over the place. Okay, I'm on your tail. Looking pretty good. Might have a low tire back there. And then the shifter here, you have to pull on it. So some shifters you can push or pull, but the little clicker to get to harder gears, it's a pull. And I think that might be part of the Shimano Altus. It's a little bit more basic. Still gets the job done, but you might need more tune-ups than something like, the Dior XT. Looking good.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable bike. The riding position is nice and upright, not too forward.
Yeah, you can see he doesn't have to lean forward too far. The stem, it actually has, looks like 3 10mm risers, 1 5mm. So you get, it's up, it's angled. I'm gonna show the motor now. I'm gonna take this to turbo and watch how quickly it goes. Look for the chain. So almost immediately when I stopped pedaling, that chain also stopped moving, and that's the responsiveness. So the Bosch drive system measures your pedal cadence, your rear wheel speed, and your pedal torque 1,000 times per second. It's just one of the best drive systems out there, but it does produce some noise, so let's listen again. There's our top speed at 20 miles per hour. Reached it pretty easily. And you might have heard just the like ring kind of a sound. With traffic and the noise that your tires produce and stuff, it's not the end of the world, but it does produce more noise, even when you turn it off. So I'm gonna take it all the way down to off. This is just me pedaling. And you can't see it, but under that chain cover, that sprocket's spinning 2.5 times for every single crank revolution that I produce as the rider. So it's unique. It's a unique setup. I think that's about it. That's the Cube Touring Hybrid Pro 500 and a little bit on the 400 back there. For the full written review, I'll see you back at Electric Bike Review. I have all the stats and everything. Please chime in if you have this bike or you have something to say about Cube. Have fun out there. Ride safe. So we're back inside the shop, and you might be able to see the backlighting. If I hit this light, the display, it's just a faint blue glow. It's nice because it's not too distracting when you're actually out there and it's dark. That also activates the headlight that we were talking about. It looks like it's got a bit of a bend, so it angles down. And then we can check out that rear light too. Looks pretty good. It's enough to keep you a little bit more visible out on the trail. I also love that this has quick release on both of the wheels. So in addition to be able to take the battery off, the display off, you can remove those wheels, but keep in mind you do have a fender. So if you're trying to toss this in the back of your car by laying it flat, you still have to worry about that fender. And plastic is durable. It's not gonna get bent like aluminum or rusty like steel. It's light, but it can rattle a little bit more. So when we were out there, I think it performed pretty well. It was relatively quiet because there are multiple reinforcement points, but those are some of the trade-offs that you have to consider. So we were just reviewing this bike earlier, and then this woman, Ellen. Oh, I can't believe I messed that up. We just practiced. Whatever. So Ellen just bought this bike, and I wanted to ask you, why? Why did you like this one? You tried a bunch?
Well, no, but I was looking for something specific. So I'm looking for something that's a commuter bike, basically.
Yeah. Gonna ride to work?
Yes. It's 15 miles each direction.
Sweet. That's a bit of a ride.
Yeah, and as I was saying, the ride home is mostly uphill.
Okay.
Into a 14-mile-an-hour headwind
almost
every afternoon.
Gee whiz.
So usually after a long day work, you're tired.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for an energy boost.
Well, this is a great way to go. Had you ever ridden an electric bike before today?
No, but we live in a very hilly area, and I have watched kids pedal up the hills, like 13-degree grades. And so that's when I've heard people talking about them in our neighborhood. It's really hilly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
okay.
I like to explore it.
Have you ever done this non-electrified? Is this your first time you're going to ride your bike to work?
Oh, no. I've been riding my bike to work for years.
Okay, yeah, you look fit. You look, like you know how to ride a bike and everything,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you like the lights, you like the step through, it's easy to approach.
Sure.
Anything else that just jumped out to you about this one?
It feels more streamlined. Like it feels like it looks like a bicycle, a commuter bicycle. Like I didn't want to go total beach cruiser.
Yeah.
Because I did get passed by a guy on a beach cruiser the other day in his jeans, going twice as fast as me.
An electric bike, yeah?
Yes, he was on an electric bike.
Was it this guy? Do you know that guy?
I do know that guy, but it was not that guy.
Okay.
But I think it looks good. They're all heavy. I'm game for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Well, I wish you luck. Thank you for going on camera. It's just fun to, meet real life customers. It's your first electric bike, right?
It is my first electric bike. Not my first bike, but obviously not my first bike. My first electric bike.
Okay.
And it's really, it's kind of amazing.
I think so as well.
Excited.
Ellen, thank you so much. Could I get a high five?
Yes.
Sorry about the name.
Save on.
That's right. Save on gas. I love that. Have fun out there. Ride safe. I'm glad you got your helmet on.